Hi, everyone. Terry Harden, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer here. And today I'm going to do a video for you guys that is actually pre recorded on how to pick a pumpkin, like they do on Outrageous Pumpkins, of which I'm a judge. Take a look at this truck. These are the classic size. Actually, let me say that again, a bit smaller than normal because these are coming out of California and pumpkins need a lot of water. So I thought today, since I have to be away, I would show you how to pick a pumpkin. What it is about a pumpkin that's cool, just in case you go on your own and you're not quite sure what to get. So we're going to start with the various pumpkins that you know about, the classic jack-o'-lantern. So I'm going to start with the classic jack-o'-lantern. Hey, here I am. Okay, here we go. This is a classic jack-o'-lantern. You will recognize it by its nice little tufts in the side, or creases, as some people call them, or bumps. Now, the way you see on camera here, this stem you cannot see as it goes all the way up past, but if I tilt it forward, you can see it's super long. You'll also notice that the diameter is small compared to the pumpkin. Now, which makes this a better pumpkin than you can find in the supermarket, is a supermarket or a big box store usually will cut these stems too short. It's okay, but a lot of times you guys like the tall, super tall, beautiful, beautiful stems. And so if we cut to the top here, I'm going to roll it over. You notice how there is green in this one. See the green? So when you're picking a pumpkin and you want it to be fairly fresh, make sure it has a lot of green in the stem. If it has a lot of brown, you're going to be in trouble because sometimes the flesh can be a little tough and sometimes it can be dry. Now, if you're just going to cut it like a jack-o'-lantern where you're cutting the triangles and stuff, these pumpkins are fine. These pumpkins are lovely. But if you're going to sculpt them, like in the case of a Big Mac, let me just grab a picture for you so you can see what I mean about the beauty of a Big Mac. Yes. Okay, so here we go. This is a serious mega giant one, and this mega giant one is 650 pounds, and I carved it. It took me about 4.5 hours to carve. It has a skull, it has a dragon, it has a lot going on. If you're gonna carve, this is the style of, you guessed it, the outrageous pumpkins. That's the way we do them. And so if you're going to do something like that with something like this, the wall can be a little narrower. I'm kind of feeling confident about this guy. I'll have to let you know about him, but he feels kind of heavy and weighty. And I'm not going to sculpt him for you today, but know that, as I showed you, if it's green in the stem, if you happen to fall in love with a beautiful stem like this is a classic pumpkin. It did, however, come from a pumpkin patch. If you can find it in a store, just be careful because they all have different consistencies. Now, how can you make sure that it has the consistency you want? Well, you can take a tool or your key. Now, don't do this in front of somebody where they can see you, but you can take a key and just do a little scratch, like perhaps tip the pumpkin over, because a lot of times you're setting it on its backside right here, and then take a tool. Now, I'm going to take a little sculpting tool right here, and I'm just going to make a little neck. And if I can make that neck easily, it usually says that the flesh is carvable. This isn't so tough that you're going to be fighting it. So that's a good way to test your pumpkin. So this is a classic jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. To review, if you cut out triangles, triangle eyes, nose, mouth, then you're going to be very happy because all the pumpkins work. Okay. Even right down to the little pie pumpkins that are only about yay big. You can still make some really, there's my hands right there. Kind of interesting to do it this way, but you can make some really interesting tiny pumpkins. And let me just give you an example of what that looks like. If I can find him. Yes, here we go. This is a a little ghost pie pumpkin that I did. And he is the size, just like my hands are, only about, I'd say 5 inches across at the most. Little tiny guy. A lot of times little kids get them. And this little guy, you could carve to make here. I made a shrunken head here, but you can carve them. I highly recommend that you don't jump into that because you want to get used to how to work with your depths on these. And if you're taking a virtual class with me, or you're doing it yourself, or you've bought the video, then you're good to go. Okay, so let's explore the next pumpkin. Now, how are you going to pick a pumpkin if I'm not with you? You might look at this, it might have a green stem, but you might be a little nervous because you really want to try that depth carving. So let me tell you a pumpkin that you can absolutely almost guarantee every time it's going to give you a winning pumpkin. All right, you ready? Okay, let's put this guy over here. Here he comes. Here he is. This pumpkin, ladies and gentlemen, is called a wolf. And the reason it's called a wolf is because look at the size of the stem in comparison to the pumpkin. It's huge, isn't it? It's like almost they put a sequoia, you know, the redwood and sequoia trees in Middle California. Well, maybe you don't, but they're really big trees. This is a massive, massive stem. And this is how you can tell the comparison of the stem width, not length. They cut it short. Okay. Very important that it's green, just like we talked about before. Always important that it's a green stem and not a brown stem. Brown stem means that poor little guy's been sitting around for a while and could be very dry and lost a lot of water. The younger, the better. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, within reason. But this thick stem is a variety called the wolf, WOLF. And if you go to a pumpkin patch, even one where they have ordered the pumpkins and they sort of tossed them around, they didn't actually grow them in your area, look for this giant, super fat stem. It will be so surprisingly fat on some pumpkins that the pumpkin might be even smaller than this, but the stem is still big and fat. That's how you can tell. And if we cut to camera 2, I'll show you at the top of it. Look at how thick this guy is. See how big that is? That is a big, thick stem. Let me roll it over here just a little bit more so you can really look at it. And if we pull our ruler out, you can see that unlike most of the stems that you see in the market, this one here is here we go. Let's use this end. This will give you the idea. This right here is 2 inches. This is 2 inches. See, it's about over 2 inches thick from this point right here to this point over here. It's almost, 2 1/4. So guys, this is a great way for you to discover how wonderful, to success, not how wonderful. Well, it will be wonderful because it'll be easy for you to carve. This is great if you're going to do you want to make a face, or you want to do that 3-dimensional carving like they do on outrageous pumpkins. All right. So this is the stem you want, big and fat. Look at that beefy guy. You see how much bigger it is compared with the rest of the pumpkin. Yes. You see that? So when you go shopping, wherever you go shopping, look for this fat stem in relationship to the pumpkin. And I can almost guarantee you dollars to donuts, it's going to be a good carvable critter. Again, if you take a tool or something where you can test it, tip it back to the bottom, and then just do a little scrape to see that it's going to be carvable. And if it's easy to carve, you've got it, okay? Because chances are you're going to be on the bottom. It's not going to damage anything. But you can imagine if a farmer catches you, dinging up their pumpkin, they're going to be like, rawr. So just a little neck, because if the little neck works, you're going to keep the pumpkin. You're going to buy it anyway. These are, some places will charge you extra for them, but most of the time not, because a person doesn't necessarily realize the value in a wolf pumpkin. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to show you this, a wolf, big fat stem, big fat stem, and the stem is fat going all the way up. It tapers. You notice it just tapers a tiny, tiny bit, and then boom, it's right there, right? So this is a great pumpkin to get. Also, I encourage you to get one that has kind of a funky shape if you can find it. If there's an abnormal bump on one side or it juts out, that's the way it grows. And when it grows that way, that might give you inspiration to what you want to create with your pumpkin. All right. I once in a class saw a young man um, flip it over upside down and carve from the bottom. And I'm going to show you with the next pumpkin in case you want to be a little experimental. Not that it's harder to carve because it's good to carve, but sometimes this next pumpkin can be a little extra charge. Let me just put my keys. They don't want to be on camera. So there you go. Okay, so we're going to put him aside. They can be very heavy. Here we go. This is a white pumpkin. Ooh, isn't it pretty? This pumpkin is called a ghost. Can you even see why? This ghost pumpkin is called that because obviously it's white. The fun thing about a ghost pumpkin is the flesh underneath. Sometimes you can peel away this flesh using a tool. This is the tool that I teach people to use, this tool right here, to actually carve away the flesh part. But when you peel it away, sometimes it can be pink underneath, or sometimes it can be like a cassava melon, white underneath. It can really give you a nice look if you're in the mood for, you want a white pumpkin. When they light up, the light goes through them differently, and we are going to light them up, and I will show you a few examples of some lit pumpkins that I've done, and then perhaps maybe some that my students have done, so you can get an idea of what the idea is there. But the white pumpkins can sometimes sometimes be more expensive because they'll charge you for the fact that it's white. Sometimes you can get lucky and they'll just go, whatever size, doesn't matter. And if you're lucky enough for that to happen, good for you. Okay. But it's a fun pumpkin, and it's one of the few you don't necessarily have to do that scraping exercise if you're a little embarrassed. I always recommend that you do a little bit of it to make sure your tool can actually get through the flesh, the top layer. But you don't really have to, because this variety seems to be very, very consistent. And so it's a very good carvable pumpkin. I always recommend people try and carve these if they want to, because they're lots and lots of fun. And you noticed that the little shrunken head I showed you was a baby one of that. So once in a while, you'll get some of those baby ones, and it works really, really well. So this is another great one you can look for if you're not with me. Now, when you're with me, we're going to leap and jump sometimes and walk around the pumpkin patch together if we can. We can't always do that. A lot of times lately, people just don't want to gather in that kind of a way. So we gather at the class, and I pre-pick the pumpkins, and I'm always looking for funny, weird shapes. So I have a class on the 30th, and on the 30th, you can go. Let me just face you forward now. As this pumpkin sits to the side of me, and before I continue, you can go to terrihardin.com/classes, and that's where you can find out where I'm teaching classes. I'm teaching a virtual class, and I have a live class in Anaheim on the 30th. That's because you guys like your pumpkins to be fresh. So a lot of times I can't talk you into sculpting earlier. And so that's why we do the 30th. I'm doing a virtual class on the 31st. Same reasoning. And I'm also doing a demo in Anaheim with the Disney Anna Fan Club. You've heard me talk about this before. Look at DisneyAnnaFanClub, or I think it's .com, but it could be .org. Either way, you can find it. Just Google it. I'm demoing there on the 23rd, show and sale. That's a great, great show. Or if you're carving, you think you got this, then please bring your pumpkin, as they're doing a pumpkin contest. All right. So let's talk about tools, just in case you can't come to one of my classes, or perhaps you can't join one of my virtual classes. When you join one of my virtual classes, I highly recommend that you get the tools. So let me move my ghost. There you go. And let's cut to camera 2 for you guys. There you go. There's camera 2. Slide it into position. This is the pumpkin carving tool set that I offer on my website. Okay, on the website, terrihardin.com, and you click on online store, you will get this amazing bag of tools. You will get this tool, which is the one that we take the skin off with. There he is to show you an example. I point him the same way. La la. There you go. And then a couple of extra tools, but the major tools, and this is the depth tool right here. This one is extremely important because of this little rectangular end here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. There it is. That is very important for step 2 of the whole thing. And then finally, you see this lovely set. These are mini ribbon tools. Now, you can't just buy these anywhere. You can buy these tools at a hobby store. They are Kemper tools, but I always give you a discount. These can be some of the most expensive tools, these little guys right here. And I'm not going to bust open this set for you. Instead, I'm going to show you my very used, very loved set right here. Here they are. You'll notice, you'll say to yourself, wow, super delicate little loops, right? I mean, as we zoom in, you can see the loop is very delicate. You have to know when to use this tool on your pumpkin. You don't want to start going through the skin with this because it will snap right off, okay? But if you use it, the closer you get to the void inside your pumpkin, the softer the flesh is. And this is how on Outrageous Pumpkins, they detail out those beautiful, crisp eyes and stuff. Okay, so these are the tools that you use. All right, so there you go. I will now end with a little slideshow of some of the pumpkins that I've done in the past and perhaps some student pumpkins. And I hope that you'll try them. I will, let me see, I think I'm back Friday. I don't know if I am. I'm here today. Watch this one over and over again and know that you can have a few things that will help you with this whole deal. So let's just look here and we'll go here and show you some lovely things. Let's start out. I'll start out by showing you some of the pumpkins that I've done. So Desperate Housewives. This is True Blood. You notice there's a lady. This is a 200-pound pumpkin. And here it is lit. Isn't it beautiful lit? So I always put a light inside of my pumpkins. And that's what makes them so special. This is Sweeney Todd as he's cutting the throat of Mrs. Lovett. And then here I am at Disney working on a pumpkin that was auctioned off. And let me show you some other ones that I've done. Or better yet, let me see if I can find some student work. You'll really love to see some student work. I think you'll enjoy some of the student work. So here is the original class location. And look at the size of these pumpkins, guys. They're absolutely positively huge. And this was the pumpkin patch that retired. He used to allow me to do this with my students. And oops, let's not airplay. Let's go here. Here's a woman and she's cutting this one. A lot of people love to do teeth. Some people like to keep the skin. First-time student. Here is a first-time student. Many people love to do Jack. So you can see, I'm very proud of my first-time students. We say, just do a face. Isn't that cool? Just create a face. Now, this person is not a first-time student. This is Cameron. He's going to be demoing out with me on Sunday the 16th. So I hope you got to come out and see it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. Wait till next year. We always do that. And you'll be seeing this on the 17th. So please don't cry in your coffee. Here's Doug Marsh. He's also demoing on the 16th, or did demo on the 16th. I guess I should speak past tense. And you can see that he's really good at the lettering. And then the pumpkin. He loves to do pumpkin scenes. Very good at it. Here's one I did. Again, leaving the skin on. But look at those beautiful teeth. Always a fun thing. And then here you've got the little tiny pumpkin up on top. So that's kind of cool. Sabrina will be out there, or was out there. She's doing Curious George in this one. And here are some of the ones on my porch. Beauty and the Beast. Nothing says you have to do anything that anyone understands. So here's my weirdo pumpkin that I made with the finger pointing to its destiny. And then Sabrina did this lovely little adorable dragon. So you get, here it is lit, the Beauty and the Beast. And then there's another weirdo one. And here's another crazy fun one. Look at that fun one. That's a student again. And another student, remember you saw that Jack Skellington? Well, look at it lit, guys. Aren't they beautiful? The closer you get to the cavity, the hotter the light. So the yellow you're seeing is really close to the cavity of the inside of the pumpkin. So that's what we're going for. And here we are out at that big patch, and we are, you see, that's my Mustang. Well, maybe you don't see that that's my Mustang, but that's my Mustang. And I put my pumpkins in the back of the Mustang and drive them home. More student work. So you can see that everybody has a good time. This is mine. This is my Cheshire Cat, Joe Yakovetic, his fault. And here's the girl. So you remember, you saw that one that was all growly. Here's one of my students doing her character. Here's a guy, his first time. He was very nervous, but he did this Spider-Man one, and you can see it changes your life. To take one of these classes is life-changing. I don't even say that lightly. If you don't believe you're an artist, you need to take this class, and I will change your mind, okay? So check this one out. I didn't get the chance to have these lit, but here is a classic class back when I had the bigger pumpkins. Now we have a different class, and here is Cameron. He does tikis. Isn't that great? So there you go. Let me see, as I talk to you, if I can find my current class, which is the one I would love to show you. Because the class that is from last year, I know they would love. First of all, you're seeing this both on Terry's Tribe, and you're also seeing this on the public channel. But I want you to be able to both see what the students did last year. So let me just see if I can find them. I mean, you know, wouldn't it be cool if I could show them off? Because they did a great, great job. So let me see if I can find my pumpkin students and what they did. Demo, we're getting closer, getting closer. I'm wondering if I have their pictures in here. I may not, which breaks my heart because they did some great stuff. But I will make sure that you see them later because we're going to do it again. So I think what happened is I had a professional photographer, my friend Adam, and I did not carry the pictures over in here. So I apologize for that, but do feel free to check out, check my Instagram page. Let me take this off. There you go. Terri Hardin Legend. I have a lot of pictures on there. And I hope you'll do this. I hope you'll check it out. I hope you enjoyed how to pick a pumpkin today. All pumpkins of all sizes can be carved, but I want you to do the wolves first if you've never done a pumpkin before, because the wolves have a thicker wall normally. Just the nature of the pumpkin is a thicker wall, which allows you some area to play if you can't get yourself a Big Mac. And a Big Mac, you saw, they're big and they can be very expensive. They can be $100 or so. This year, they might not be that expensive if you live in California, Arizona, places like that, because we had a drought and pumpkins need water. But if you're back east, they can be super, super big. And that's the whole deal of what's going on. My name is Terri Hardin. I am Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and I'm also an outrageous pumpkins judge. I've been that for several years now, and I hope that you will continue to watch the show and that you will look to see if you can test and train, okay? Because it would be a really, really wonderful thing to happen. And if you can make it to my class so that I can whisper in your ear and make you feel better about what you're doing, please come and join us on the 30th. I'd love to see you. For now, I'm going to sign off and say bye for now. Okay? Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. And I will see you hopefully Friday. I may not be able to do it Friday because this my classes are filling up, and I have this thing. Let me just end before I sign off. I usually don't talk after my sign off, but today I feel the need. I really want you to experience what these pumpkin carving classes can do. Please don't belittle it by thinking it's just a pumpkin class. It can change your life, and I have seen it happen time and time and time again. So I'd love for you to try it. I'd love for you to come out to class if you can. Please go to terrihardin.com/classes. Really be a place where you can check it, that you can check it out. And if not, you can buy the DVD. I thought I had a picture of the DVD, but you can go to my store, terrihardin.com, and then it's probably /online store, and they'll probably take you right there. I just built a new website, and it really is much smarter than me. Okay. All right. Have fun. And I hope to see you. If I don't broadcast, I'll let you know. And maybe I'll do another fun video for you so you're not left in the lurch. Thank you for being patient. Thank you for being subscribers and watching me. And I hope this helps you pick that favorite pumpkin. And please, if you do this, share with